sure, we're arguing about music more than anything else, because I was like sort of a hardened sort of folk, folk singer, I suppose, and we were all coming from different angles, and we were all playing on the street together in Grafton Street, because we'd all sort of met up out there through busking with different people, and we used to have great long debates in the Coffee Inn about music, and basically we sort of decided it would be really good. I thought he'd be a really good guitar player. He'd never played electric guitar before I met him, but I just asked him to play electric guitar in my band, and he did. He was very good. My mother's a cleaner in a bank, and she was like, look, I'll lend you the money. You know, how much do you need to make a demo? And I kind of went off and costed it. She said, look, I'll lend it to you, go do it, and I'm sure you'll get it back from me. So she was like, okay, if you're going to do music, do it. If you're not going to do music, get a job, you know. So she was really encouraging on that level. And so I borrowed the money, got a demo together. A friend of mine had given it to somebody who gave it to this guy, Denny Cordell, who worked for Ireland. And he asked me down to his house, and I went down there, and I had a really nice evening. I hung out with Stuart Copeland was down in his house, and Marianne Faithfull was down there, and Ron Wood, and they all sat around listening to my tape, and I was really, it was just a really weird evening and then they rang Denny Cordell later on that night, and a sort of a deal was set up over the phone. We'll record a record we're very happy with, and then suddenly it's like, no, it's like happened every single record where we'll deliver something and they just tear it to pieces and decide that it needs to be another way. And that's always been the sort of, I suppose, the bitterest pill to swallow, and the thing that cramps your gut every time you make music is that you can't just make it and hand it over and let people, decide on it then. That there's always this compromise. I'll only ever write if I'm bored or if I'm really hyperactive, so it's one of those things where a lot of sitting at home and just, relax. So in a way, it's like the living has very little to do with it. They say that a great art is 90% living and 10% perspiration or whatever. I don't really know. It's like, it's one of those things that's impossible to even get into discussing, because it's so arbitrary. Learn that you're well and they're sick is pretty much what you learn. Is that every time we've done something and we've said, no, that definitely won't work, and they've kind of gone, look, we know what we're doing, and I'm willing to hand over and say, well, look, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're a record company, you seem to know what you're on about. But every time we do that, we're always proved right. So it's one of those things and every time we make a move on our own, which has been like twice in our whole career, we've actually managed to do stuff that's been about ourselves. It's always been very, very successful, and it's always led us to the next point. We're making this new record, we're like, okay, we play slow music well, we play fast music all right, we're not great at it, but we play slow music better than we play fast music. Okay, I've got all these songs at home that we've never used as a band, and that I've written recently too. And we decided to see how slow we could play them and how quietly we could play them. So we sat in a room in a house down in Kerry together, and we played as slow and as considered, and the lyric was like just sitting right on top. So we created this little thing for ourselves where we knew we could play really quietly and we could play really slowly. So in Hansard we got an opportunity to sort of go on to a stage in front of a sizable amount of people and try that out. I think somebody passed Nick a note in the crowd and said, will you call Glenn from the Frames? Because I looked around at one point and Nick was looking over at me with his glasses, and I was like, Jesus, and he got up and he was like, do you want to come up and sing? So I got up, and it was really great. It's great to do it. I was terrified, but I was so happy because I was playing Will Oldham's guitar, which is like, which is a very exciting element to the whole event. From the very beginning, we decided, right, it's a long road, and it's not about one deal, and it's not about one, sort of pleasing the record company. So in a way, a few times in our career, we've hit the brick wall, and it's like, oh, Jesus, here we are again. And we've always sort of turned to each other within a week or so and said, okay, let's walk around the whole world, again, until we're on the other side of the wall. So we've done that a few times, and we're about to do it again. And it's like, and that can be tiring, but what keeps you inspired is the fact that when you do a gig, and people always show up, and thank God. Two, three, four. I'm on a plateau. It's not where I belong. It's taken so many years to figure out my way upon this plateau. It's all been said and done, and every time I try, the words make little sense until you're gone, and everything has changed. And everything has changed upon this plateau. The diamond sky's enough to take you miles ahead, where the past can never catch us, and all your good friends are gathered all around. They say the time is now. So I must resolve to say yeah, yeah, just me, myself again. Yeah, and I'm just talking to the wall this time. Just me, myself, and I. Deciding on my plot. And everything must change. And everything must change inside you now. And everything must change inside and out now. And everything must change, oh, change, oh, change, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm on a plateau. I'm on a plateau.